Hello and welcome to episode 106 of the How to Survive podcast. This week, it's an all-time classic considered one of the best films ever in the horror and thriller genres from all the way back in 1968. It's Rosemary's Baby. My name's Chris and joining me is Joe. Rosemary's Baby this week, Joe. What do you say to that?
I say God is dead, dead.
Yes, this week it is How to Survive Rosemary's Baby, episode 106. My name is Chris and joining me as ever is Joe, rustling his papers because he's not quite ready.
Listen, I'm always ready.
Yeah?
I could go off this.
Ready, steady, go.
The Wicker Man is an excellent movie.
No, this week it's Rosemary's Baby from 1968, directed by someone who shall not be named.
Yeah, it's a bit of a political statement, isn't it, to say you like his movies?
Yes, yeah. With good reason.
Yeah. Roman Polanski is the man, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to say his name.
Yeah, that's all that we're going to say about him as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, you probably know the story, but you may not know the story of Rosemary's Baby, which is this week's film. And as ever on the How to Survive podcast, before we talk about How to Survive, we need to recap the plot. So if you haven't seen Rosemary's Baby, you've had 49 years in which to do so.
It will be half a century next year.
Yes. So now is your chance to duck out before we spoil the whole film.
Paramount Pictures presents Mia Farrow in a William Castle production, Rosemary's Baby. Co-starring John Cassavetes, Ruth Gordon, Sidney Blackmer, Morris Evans, and Ralph Bellamy. Written for the screen and directed by Roman Polanski. From the best-selling novel by Ira Levin. Suggested for mature audiences.
Rosemary and Guy Woodhouse move into a grand old New York apartment building called the Bramford. Their friend Hutch jovially attempts to dissuade them by telling them of the Bramford's unsettling history of cannibalism and murder, but they move in anyway.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. In the laundry room, Rosemary meets Terry, a woman recovering from addiction with the help of Mr. and Mrs. Cassavetes, who live in the apartment next door to Rosemary. Terry wears a good luck charm given to her by the Cassavetes, which emits a strange smell. One night, upon returning to the apartment building, Guy and Rosemary discover Terry has thrown herself from the 7th floor to her death. Rosemary and Guy befriend the Cassavetes, who invite them over for dinner. They give Rosemary Terry's pendant and tell her its strange smell is something called tannis root. Later, Guy, who is an actor, lands a role in a play after his competition suddenly goes blind. Guy and Rosemary decide to have a baby, because why not make the most of the good fortune that you find yourself in?
Yeah. When the cards are up,
Yeah.
chips are up.
Also, their apartment in New York City. Imagine being able to rent that if you are, between yourselves, an out-of-work actor and a woman who has no job.
But he's not an out-of-work actor. This is one of the things that bug me. He's the face of Yamaha.
Right.
He's probably a millionaire.
Is that, yeah.
That's something he's like, I've just been Mr. Yamaha forever. Fine. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But also, they mentioned at the beginning, it's rent controlled.
Yeah, I know, but still, like... One night, the Cassavetes bring over a chocolate mousse for dessert. Rosemary eats some of it, but discards the rest, claiming it has a chalky undertaste that Guy cannot detect. Shortly thereafter, she falls unconscious and suffers disturbing nightmares about being raped by a demonic presence, as Guy, the Cassavetes, and the rest of the Bramford tenants watch on. The next morning, she notices scratches on her body, and Guy claims to have made love to her in her sleep, not wanting to waste an opportunity for her to conceive. Apparently this was a thing in 1968 because at no point does this get discussed.
Well, in the next scene, she says...
should we talk about it?
Yeah, should we talk about it? And I'm thinking, right, you're going to address the fact that you were raped. And she says, you haven't made eye contact with me for days.
Yeah.
But maybe, given who the director is, maybe that's not such a surprise.
Perhaps not. I didn't want to say it, but there you go. Rosemary learns she is pregnant. On the advice of the Castevets, she changes obstetric care from Dr. Hill to a Dr. Saperstein, who asks Mr. Castevet to make a daily vitamin drink for Rosemary from fresh herbs in place of the usual vitamin pills that he gives to pregnant women.
Yeah, he says that they're basically packed full of crap, doesn't he?
Yeah. During the first few months of her pregnancy, Rosemary suffers unbearable pain, loses weight, and craves raw meat and chicken livers. Her appearance disturbs Hutch, who promises to research the mysterious Tannis root, but falls into a coma before he can tell Rosemary his findings. Rosemary's other friends ask her to seek a second opinion from Dr. Hill, which angers Guy, but the pain eventually subsides and the couple are happy once again. 3 months later, Hutch dies, leaving a book on witchcraft to Rosemary, along with a cryptic message saying the name is an anagram. Rosemary discovers that Roman Castevet, which is the man's name, Mr. Castevet's name, is really Steve Marcato, the son of a former resident who is accused of being a Satanist, and presumably didn't use his proper name Stephen when he decided to make an anagram out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Fearing her neighbours and doctor are part of a satanic cult with designs on her baby, and that Guy is cooperating in exchange for help with his career, Rosemary seeks help from Dr. Hill, who instead sends her back to Dr. Saperstein, believing her to be mentally ill. Guy and Dr. Saperstein tell her that if she cooperates, the baby will not be hurt, but once Rosemary goes into labour, she is sedated and wakes up to be told the baby has died. While recovering, Rosemary hears a baby crying through the walls of her apartment and finds a secret passageway into the Castevets' home next door. Inside, she finds a congregation of the Bramford residents, Guy, and her child, who has been placed in a black crib. They explain that her baby Adrian, who has demonic eyes and claws, is the son of the devil himself. Rosemary is initially horrified, but drawn to her baby's cries, she gently rocks his cradle as a smile creeps over her face. And that is how Rosemary's Baby ends.
Yeah. Good film.
Yes, what did you think of it? Had you seen it before?
Yeah, I had, which made it quite predictable, as you'd imagine.
Yeah.
No, I watched it a few years ago, and it's still creepy. Like, I think the reason it stays amazing, even though you know what's going to happen, and I feel like you hadn't seen it, right?
I hadn't seen it.
But I feel like you must still have known roughly what was going to happen just through pop culture and through reputation.
Yeah, I knew that Rosemary's Baby was, like, my pop culture understanding of Rosemary's Baby was that it's a story about a woman who gives birth to
The Devil's Baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, like, I think the way the film sort of balances is she mad? Is she actually,
Yeah, I get that. But
suffering a satanic cult is quite good.
Even when you know that it's real, so to speak, it's the performances that carry it, right?
Yeah.
And obviously you've got Mia Farrow as Rosemary.
Mm-hmm. Who is excellent in it as well. Iconic, I'd say, in fact, with that haircut.
Yeah, exactly. We'll come to the haircut later. But essentially she goes through being like a happy-go-lucky woman to being like a nervous wreck and then to being like fully mad.
Yeah.
But all the time fully convincingly. Like,
yeah.
Then you've got John Cassavetes, who is the perfect casting for like an arrogant Hollywood big shot. Mm-hmm. Hey, baby. That's really good. But the winners for best performances in the movie, I think, are the Castevets.
Yeah.
You've got Minnie Castevet, who's like a whiny, nosy New York old lady who is up in everyone's business. But that's because she's a devil worshipper.
Yeah.
Like, that's the amazing twist. She's like, honey, we're going to go out. We're going to get you a treat. But actually she's like, we're going to poison you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I think Roman Castevets is probably the runaway star of the show for me, because
I say God is dead.
Yeah. God is dead. Satan lives. The year is one.
Like that, like he goes from being like mild mannered to being like full Christopher Lee in Wicker Man.
Yeah,
at the
like
end.
he's a very at the start he's very sort of like genial. Like you can imagine him owning a yacht. Sort of like
Oh, you must come over, boy.
Oh, I've been to Santorini. It's very nice.
Lovely city. Lovely city. And at the end, I say, God is dead. This is the year one.
Yeah. And Mrs. Castavets, who is played by
Ruth Gordon.
Ruth Gordon. She I think Ruth Gordon actually won the Best Supporting Actress Oscar
Really?
that year for the film. And
For
you can
this
see
year?
why.
Yeah, because she's like, I don't know how someone can be like playing a nice person, but also be obviously sinister.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like and like the sort of like social pressures that Rosemary is under, like all the way through the film, is really like palpable because of how sort of overbearing Minnie is as like a neighbor. Like she's just not like you can't be angry with her because she's like making you chocolate mousses and being nice and looking after your welfare ostensibly, but at the same time she's like incredibly cloying and like suffocating by her like nature.
Yeah.
You know, and like when she's saying, "Oh, I'm having a party for some of my friends," and she's like, "Oh, I'll help you dish out stuff."
Yeah.
And she's like, "No, that's fine. Oh, well, then I'll help you serve drinks." And it's just like, "Oh, fuck off!" Honestly.
She says to Hutch, Rosemary says to Hutch, I like them, but I think they're too nice.
Yeah,
And that's
exactly right.
Yeah.
She should trust her instinct.
Yeah.
I think it feels like a film that's like very much ahead of its time as well. You know, released in 1968, but then you have like quite a lot of nudity, sex scenes. You've got open discussion of periods, which I thought was quite, you know, notable. For a film of that era. Some quite unpleasant gore in this. You know, the scene where the woman's thrown herself out of the building.
Yeah, it's
quite a lingering,
sudden, isn't it?
Well, it's quite a lingering close up on her like mashed in head as well. And obviously the really disturbing like nightmare dream sequence.
Right, where the devil rapes her.
Yeah. Which is like still frightening.
Yeah.
Like I think it's genuinely frightening and intense and unpleasant.
Yeah, and you've got like she's on a boat and she's not on a boat.
Yeah. And it's really well done as well. And I think also the part of the reason the film feels so modern is because it's edited like a film is edited now.
Yeah.
Like a lot of films that you watch from that era like have a sort of lumbering pace to them because it's almost like they're still staging everything as though it's a play.
Right. Yeah.
And so like, you know, you constantly have shots of like men walking across rooms and like pouring themselves a drink and it's all very like stilted and like stately in the way that they're performing. Whereas this, like the editing is just like, right, we're done with that scene, like next one, like carry on. And it's really like the pace of it is excellent, I thought. It feels like a modern film.
Yeah, it does. It's ahead of its time, you could say.
Yeah.
There's one dream sequence which, I mean, the one on the boat reminded me of Sopranos, but their dream sequences are the same. There's no non-diegetic sound. There's just this like there's no like beach sounds. There's no sea sounds, and then someone will just appear who shouldn't be there. It's like someone they met in the lift that day, and they'll be like, "You should be more careful," right?
Yeah.
Like that whole like ephemeral dream sequence. I think The Sopranos obviously drew from this and others, but this primarily, I'd say.
Yeah.
But there was an earlier dream sequence where they're like, there's like she must be in the choir, and they're changing a window in a church. It's an earlier one.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. And she's in like a convent.
Yeah.
And they're changing a window. Yeah.
But what's like?
It's quite oblique, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the significance of it is other than sort of implying a, you know, background to the character that she used to be in a sort of
yeah, she's Catholic, I guess.
Yeah. And that she grew up in like a girls' boarding house or something. But yeah, like I know what you mean. Like the editing, particularly in the dream sequences, is great because it feels like a dream.
Yeah.
Like people are naked and then fully clothed, and then you turn around and other people are there.
Yeah.
There's like random women like just littered about. It's really well done. Really, really great.
Yeah, it's great.
I think in terms of plot as well, it's very similar to The Wicker Man, which we're covering next week. Without giving too much away. The themes and the basic structure, I think, of the way certain things are seeded and then revealed
Right.
as the film goes on is very similar to The Wicker Man.
Yeah, but
And that it all comes to fruition.
they're all very heavy-handed in both films, I'd say. You've got like, like she's like, oh, drink this potion, and you're like,
yeah,
right.
I know what you mean. Yeah, but I just think given that we're covering The Wicker Man next week, it's an interesting point of comparison.
Yeah, I think so. I agree. It's almost deliberate, but entirely deliberate. But the occult and the idea of like someone who is completely sane and normal at the beginning, getting dipped into an occult practice, and slowly going mad. Again, not to give anything away from The Wicker Man, because that doesn't, I don't think. But yeah, I take your point. It's a bit. They belong to the same cloth, don't they? They cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
So obviously, Chris, Mia Farrow's performance, I'd say, owes a lot to her haircut, which changes throughout the film.
Right.
Getting more and more shocking and statement-like, would you say?
Statement-like?
Yeah, not statement-like.
It's not
Trump-like.
statemently. Yeah.
Although, would you say he's a statesman?
At time of recording, officially he is.
Yeah.
Who knows? Well, it's a wig for the first half of the film.
Yeah, and then Vidal Sassoon comes in.
Yeah.
Name dropped throughout the movie, and also was on set cutting the hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'd say, has a performance ever relied so heavily on a character's changing haircut?
I'm sure you're about to tell me.
Let's play my women cutting their hair in movies quiz. Number 1.
Yeah.
Which character played opposite Hugo Weaving in a movie about Guy Fawkes masks?
It's V for Vendetta, isn't it? It's what do you want the actress's name?
Actress or character? I'll take either.
It's Natalie Portman.
Playing?
Eve?
Evie.
It's
easy.
Evie.
Okay. Recent star of Dunkirk, Tom Hardy, was in an Oscar-nominated movie 2 years ago, playing opposite which Australian beauty? Which South African beauty?
Charlize Theron.
Yeah!
Is it Furiosa?
Yeah, 2 for 2.
Yeah.
Which actress whose name sounds like Bigorny Beaver played the lead role in Alien 3?
Was it Sigourney Weaver?
Yes.
Right.
Which queen in Game of Thrones starred opposite Jennifer Lawrence in The Hunger Games Mockingjay?
Marjorie Tyrell.
Correct.
Where she had an undercut
in Mockingjay.
Yeah.
Well, she had cut her hair for that movie.
Yeah, but she had shaved one side of her head.
Does that go naturally?
No, I'm agreeing. I'm saying it's an
right.
undercut.
Well, you're just clarifying.
Yeah.
Right,
I'm just, if anyone's listening,
yeah,
and they're like, "Oh, you've just reminded me that I've been desperate for years to get Natalie Dormer's hair from Hunger Games.
Yeah.
If only I knew what it was called. I'm telling you, it's called an undercut.
An undercut.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Carry on.
Right. Last question.
Yeah.
You're 4 for 4 now.
Yeah. Is this the first time any of us are going to home run a quiz?
I don't think we can do this one again. This is probably it. Karen Gillan.
Oh yeah.
Starred in Guardians of the What?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh no, 5 for 5. That was like a capital FM level quiz.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
So just goes to show you.
Did Vidal Sassoon do all of the hair on all of those films?
I think so.
Right. Cool.
I have to ask him.
So it was basically Joe Sherville's women with short hair quiz.
Bald heads. Except for old Natalie Dormer, who had
half of a bald head.
Yeah.
You should have done what was the odd one out.
Yeah. What was the odd one out, Chris?
It was Natalie Dormer in
Wow. 6 out of 6. Amazing.
So, Joe, let's talk about the various sequels to Rosemary's Baby, both the book and the film, after this.
This episode of How to Survive is sponsored by Mr. T Luxury Teas, who bring you this week's piece of useless IMDb trivia. This week's film is Rosemary's Baby. Rosemary's Baby was Stanley Kubrick's favourite movie. That fact might not be worth knowing, but Mr. T certainly is. Head over to Mr. T Luxury Teas to choose from a wide range of traditional, herbal, and fruit teas from all over the world, packed with health benefits and gathered to help you get the most out of your day. Visit mr-tea.co.uk or Google Mr. T Luxury Teas to find us. Use offer code SURVIVE at checkout to receive 10% off any order you make.
Now, we flipped before putting our notes together for sequels. So there's 2 sequels to Rosemary's Baby.
Yes.
There's one to the novel, which is called Rosemary's... It's called Son of Rosemary.
Yeah. So we should say as well that Rosemary's Baby is based on a novel, but it is known for being one of the most faithful adaptations.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And
like
so let's play my adaptations of novels quiz.
Great.
No, I'm lying. It's not really.
Oh, thank God. I'm all quizzed out.
So I'm doing Son of Rosemary, which was the novel.
Tell me
sequel.
all about it, please.
I will do. So Son of Rosemary, written in 1997. Son of Rosemary, incidentally, is the same as Rosemary's Baby, isn't it? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like saying...
Well, it's just gendering it, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. It's like saying son of Mrs. Sherville and then Joe Sherville. Right? Do you know what I mean? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Synonyms for titles. So I copied this off of Wikipedia.
Yeah. Classic Joe Sherville, copy and paste.
Yeah, that's fine because it's 4 paragraphs and it says exactly what you need.
Okay, fine.
I couldn't improve on this.
Okay.
The novel begins in November 1999 with Rosemary Woodhouse waking up in a long-term care facility where she has lain in a coma since 1973. That's 26 years. Wholly unharmed, Rosemary soon learns that her coma was the result of a spell cast on her by the coven when they discovered that she ran away with young Andy. In her absence, Andy was raised by Minnie and Roman Castevet, the leaders of the coven. Rosemary recovered only after the last member of the coven died. Rosemary finds that her son Andy, now 36 years old, is the popular and charismatic leader of an international charitable organisation. Mother and son are reunited, and Rosemary instantly becomes world famous, both for her remarkable recovery and as Andy's long-lost mother. Rosemary is also struck and puzzled by a repeated reference to roast mules, an anagram that many people keep bringing up. Andy assures that he has rebelled against the coven's evil influence and now uses his powers to achieve world peace. But a long chain of deadly events leads Rosemary to believe that her son has unwittingly become the Antichrist and is ushering in the end of the world.
Right.
Her fears are proven correct when a candle lighting event Andy has organised to celebrate the new millennium unleashes a deadly virus that destroys all human life. In the wake of the destruction, Satan returns to Earth and drags Rosemary to hell. Rosemary abruptly wakes up to find that it is 1965 again and she's still married to Guy Woodhouse. The events of the entire first book and nearly all of the sequel have been a vivid dream of Rosemary's. Rosemary and Guy receive a call from Rosemary's friend Edward Hutchins, who offers the couple a rent-free apartment in the Dakota Apartments, which is the model for the Bramford they're building in the first book, for a year. The couple is delighted at the offer until Hutchins makes a remark about lighting candles and roast mules that causes Rosemary to regard her dream as a warning.
Wow. There you go.
Now, there's a number of things at play here.
Yeah.
First thing that's happened is he's sat down and he's gone, I want some money.
Yeah.
Now, it did well last time.
Yeah.
So he's written this. Second, he's gone, well, I don't know how Rosemary would realistically be a mother to Satan's child because she was obviously conflicted at the beginning.
Yeah.
Best
Put her in a coma.
Coma for 30 years.
Yeah.
That's the trick. Then he's gone, I don't know how Adrian would grow up knowing he's the son of the devil. So let's put her in a coma for 30 years.
Gloss over that. Yeah.
And then he's gone, well, I don't know how to keep a realistic tone and have the devil destroy the earth. So let's just say it was a dream.
Yeah. He dedicated that book to Mia Farrow.
Did he?
Yeah. That's more of an insult than anything.
Wow.
Wow. That is extraordinary. But I have to say, not as extraordinary as the 1976 Sam Osteen TV movie sequel to Rosemary's Baby.
It's only 8 years after the original.
Yeah. Do you know what it's called?
I think it's called something like Whatever Happened to Rosemary's Baby.
It's called Look What's Happened to Rosemary's Baby.
Right.
It's a made-for-TV movie. Officially, it's got, according to Wikipedia, little connection to the original film or the novel sequel.
Right. Good start.
And the TV movie, I'm gonna spoil it for you.
Yeah.
What I would say is pour yourself a glass of wine.
Okay.
Strap
Well,
yourself.
literally.
Yeah. Strap yourself in.
As Christopher Lee says in The Wicker Man.
Can you tell that we're recording a podcast about The Wicker Man right after this, by the way?
He says, take a seat because a shock is something best received with the knees bent.
Yes.
Oops.
So here is the plot synopsis of Look What's Happened to Rosemary's Baby. Comes in 3 acts.
Yeah. 3 acts.
3 acts.
Most plays and movies do, don't they?
The first act is called The Book of Rosemary.
Okay.
Right.
Famously missing from the Bible.
Yeah. So this is Rosemary rescues the now 80-year-old Adrian from the coven as they prepare for a ritual and seeks the help of Guy, who is now a famous movie star. You with it so far?
Well, yeah, that theoretically that all fits nicely.
That's fine. Adrian displays some psychic powers.
He's the son of the devil. I guess that's okay.
They are helped by a prostitute who is called Margine, who was witness to Adrian's powers and offers them shelter. But it turns out that she's part of the cult when she gets Rosemary to go onto a bus, which it turns out has no driver, but it is possessed and then drives itself off with Rosemary still inside, never to be seen again.
Really?
Yes.
That's the end of Rosemary?
That's the end of the Book of Rosemary. Rosemary is never seen again. A self-driving bus. Autonomous vehicles predicted back in 1976.
Was anyone else on the bus?
No.
Just her?
Basically, Margine goes, get on this bus and you'll escape. And Rosemary gets on the bus and she turns around and the door slams shut. And she turns around again and there's no one driving the bus. So how could the door slam shut? And then the bus just drives off. Act 2, The Book of Adrian. 20 years later, Adrian is a reckless adult and lives with his aunt, Margine, who runs a casino.
She's come up in the world.
Yeah. Guy, Roman, and Minnie arrive and drug Adrian in order to complete the ritual to summon the devil. But Guy gets spooked when a now possessed Adrian runs to the casino's dance floor to possess all the other patrons.
Does he need to be possessed? He's the devil's son.
In escaping, Guy electrocutes one of Adrian's friends with a power cord.
Who's his friend?
His friend is called Peter.
What? Is he like a child? I know, he'd be in his 20s, wouldn't
Yeah, he'd be in his 20s. But the synopsis makes it seem like he's a rebellious teen.
Yeah.
But he's at least 28.
He's older than us.
Yeah. Act 3, The Book of Andrew. Adrian wakes up in hospital suffering from amnesia and under arrest for the murder Guy committed because his fingerprints match.
Match what? What murder?
Guy murdered one of Adrian's friends as he escaped.
I thought it was an accident.
No, he electrocutes him with a power cord.
I assumed that was
to make
must be an
good.
accident.
To make good his escape.
Right.
And now Adrian is imprisoned.
Because he has the same fingerprints as his father.
Apparently.
Who's not his father.
Yeah. Adrian tells a nurse called Ellen his name is actually Andrew and manages to escape the hospital with her help. The news of Adrian's escape frightens Guy. Just keep in mind Guy from Rosemary's Baby. The news of Adrian's escape frightens Guy, who fears Adrian might try to kill him. On the run, Ellen and Adrian stop at a motel. Now, there's a twist here, Joe. Can you tell what it is?
The motel is possessed.
On the run, Ellen and Adrian stop at a motel where it's revealed Ellen is a cult member too.
All this time.
She then drugs and rapes him where it's...
Rapes him?
She then drugs and rapes him while Adrian suffers nightmares of a harpy tearing at his chest.
Wow. What the fuck is going on?
The next day, he heads outside to find Ellen when a speeding car tries to run him down. The car hits Ellen instead, then crashes, whereupon it's revealed the driver was Guy.
Why? Because he was like worried about him going to kill him.
Guy is killed in the car crash. Adrian runs away. In a coda, Roman and Minnie Castevets await the birth of their great-grandchild, the mother of whom is revealed to be Ellen, who survived the car accident. During the credits, Ellen gives birth to Andrew's baby. This movie is 100 minutes long.
How did he survive? Andy survived.
Yeah.
Look what happened to Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
Look what happened indeed. That's crazy.
We should watch it maybe for an episode one day.
Imagine like the Roman Polanski version.
Yeah.
And him being like, right, so we've
Imagine
set
Ira
out
Levin watching that.
a slow descent into madness, gripped in the real world.
Yeah.
But actually, it turns out the devil is real.
Sam Osteen going, right, and now the possessed Adrian goes onto the dance floor to possess all the other dancers. It's
Brilliant.
genius.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Was Vidal Sassoon involved in this movie?
I'm not sure. Maybe that was the missing ingredient.
Maybe.
Well, it's that time of the show, Joe. Comes around every week. How would you survive Rosemary's Baby?
First things first.
Mhm.
Don't drink something unless you saw someone prepare it for you.
Right, that's like textbook night out advice, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I know she's not on a night out and she thinks you can trust the neighbours.
Mhm.
But if I was drinking something every day and it like the same time I started drinking that, I was getting agonizing pain to the point where I was like, I couldn't live my life properly.
Yeah.
I'd say, right, two things have changed. I've become pregnant and I've started drinking this thing you make me.
Mhm.
I'm going to stop one of them. I'm not going to have an abortion. I don't want one. I'm going to stop drinking that liquid first. And as soon as she stops, the pain goes away.
Yeah. Well, it goes away abruptly in the middle of an argument about the pain.
But she had also stopped drinking it 3 days ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's sound advice in general. I think it's more like she's a naive individual, isn't she? Really, Rosemary.
She's very trusting.
Yeah, and I think that's more or less her downfall throughout the film is that she, all of her revelations about people come too late, don't they?
Yeah, but I wonder how much is like she's not to blame for all that necessarily.
But like you could say, don't eat a chocolate mousse if you haven't seen how it's been prepared. But that's not necessarily practical advice, is it? Because if you could never go to a restaurant.
Yeah.
And it's the chocolate mousse ultimately probably does more damage to her than the whatever's in those drinks.
So here's a question. I take your point. If you didn't go to, you go to a restaurant, you go to a friend's house, you don't necessarily see it get prepared. My question to you is, if you watched it get prepared,
yeah,
and placed in front of you, you're more likely to survive, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So that's my advice: is everyone, anytime you're about to eat or drink anything, make sure you know everything in it, and you've seen it go in there, and you've watched it be prepared.
Yeah. It's sound advice. I mean, it's such a general health and safety sort of piece of advice, public safety piece of advice that it's hard to disagree with, isn't it? Because it's such a universal suggestion.
Yeah.
So I agree.
Yeah, and I guess to counter my own point, you don't see like if you buy a sandwich in Tesco, you don't see how that got made.
No.
But there are regulatory committees.
Yeah, you're putting your faith in government.
Yeah. There's no government for neighbours making you poisonous drinks.
Yes.
There are. They're called the police. But
yeah, but yeah. There's no regulatory board that ensures that things that are given out by neighbours are safe for public consumption.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's fair enough. My suggestion is just have the devil's baby.
Yeah.
Rosemary doesn't die in the film.
No.
and she has the devil's baby. If the devil is real, surely it makes sense to have him on side, and you probably stand the best opportunity of doing that if you're the devil's mother. And also, looking at it a different way, maybe Rosemary could have a positive influence on Adrian and have him sort of grow up to be a bit more of a benevolent presence in the world.
From that screenshot we get of Adrian's eyes, I'm thinking he's probably not one who can be convinced.
But he's still being like rocked, to stop him crying and everything.
Right, okay. So he's still somewhat human.
Well, he's still, affectionate towards his mother when his mother shows him care.
Yeah. Now, we always talk about the greatest net survival for everyone. And allowing the devil to Earth, to come to Earth and to wreak havoc, suggests that a lot of people would die.
Yeah.
So had she not had the baby, more people would potentially live in the future.
That's true, yeah. I can't argue with that. We don't know for certain that's what's going to happen by the devil appearing.
Mate, haven't you read Son of Rosemary?
Yeah. A virus will get released, yeah. But that was only a dream, wasn't it, Joe?
That's true.
The cult might be a bit disappointed though, and if you're still living with them, they might take objection to you
killing the devil's son.
No, not killing him, just like looking after him, being nice, nurturing.
So you're definitely coming down the side of
nurture rather than nature.
I think nature really plays a part here, though.
Yeah,
yeah.
He has got claws.
Yeah,
yeah. It's true. Yeah. But she does survive the film, so who are we to make any suggestions to her? Really?
Could she have survived better? She suffers quite badly throughout the whole film.
Yeah.
And then is basically mad at the end.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, I mean, on that note, maybe one of my other suggestions would suffice, which is I think I figured out a few years ago the best way to politely excuse yourself from something.
Go on.
Which is to go, like, say you're in a conversation that you don't really want to continue, but you don't want to go, stop talking to me, or just walk off or whatever. The best phrase, that one size fits all phrase.
Is this a Chris Morris original, like social
original
tactic?
phrase?
Yeah.
Like, no, it's a well worn phrase, I'm sure, but it's perfect. The use of it is perfect, and the phrase is, "I'll let you get on."
Right. Okay.
So you go, anyway, I'll let you get on. Right, because what you're doing there is flattering them into thinking they're too busy to talk to you. Right. So most things like, oh, sorry, I've got an appointment or whatever, that invites more questions, doesn't it? It's like, oh, what's your appointment for? What friend are you meeting?
Right.
How long have you had that stomach bug?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Right. Whereas this, it's just, anyway, I'll let you get on. And the only possible response to that is, thanks, I'll see you later. Right. Yeah. And by the time they've walked off down the street, like, they'd have walked off before they realise, oh, what Rosemary's done there is tricked me into...
Yeah, she's the busy one.
Yeah, exactly. Thinking that I'm too busy to talk to her.
Yeah.
But it's flawless. It works every time.
Yeah, I would say most of the time you're talking to a, cooperative conversationalist.
Yeah.
I would say...
You were saying earlier how lovely Minnie Castavets is.
She pretends, but she has an ulterior motive, doesn't she?
Yeah.
But she's in there going,
she's also...
tell me all about your pregnancy. I want to know all about it.
Yeah,
right?
But she's also a woman who adheres to airs and graces. She's very interested in fashion.
Yeah.
She's very interested in interior design.
Yeah.
Right? So it appears that she has some care for tradition and, cultural standards.
I'll be Minnie, you be Rosemary.
Right. So you've just knocked on my door or something?
Yeah.
Right.
Knock, knock.
Hello?
Honey,
anyway, I'll let you get on.
Honey, I gotta come in. I gotta tell you all about this lovely dress I saw at the mall earlier.
Oh, really? That sounds lovely.
I've walked in and I've sat down.
Okay. Yeah.
And I've started knitting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, this dress is fantastic on you. It look great. It's a sky blue dress. It's got a...
Sounds wonderful, Minnie. Anyway, I'll let you get on.
Nonsense, baby. Nonsense. I gotta make it more chocolate mousse.
Minnie, I'll let you get on.
Flawless.
Flawless. It's perfect.
Yeah.
How about you? Have you got any other suggestions?
Yeah. If someone tells you to get it on, talk over them. No, not really. If someone tells you, Chris, if you go to a doctor, for instance, or a professional, and they say, listen, here's what you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I want you to do is not look into this anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't do any further research.
Yeah.
You should be suspicious.
The less you know about this, the better.
Yeah. So the doctor, just to clarify, the doctor says,
This is Dr. Saperstein.
yeah, he's like, well, I'm the only one who knows about your pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
Don't read any books because, they're full of...
Every pregnancy is different.
Yeah, and don't talk to any of your friends because they'll all give you witches, old wives' tales.
Witches' tales. Not witches.
Old wives' tales. What you want to do is listen to me. If you have any problems, call me directly, only me.
Yeah.
Now, here's some other situations where that might come up.
Mm-hmm.
This is the best car for your price range.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, don't look on Auto Trader.
See, the problem is that America has a healthcare system which is, competitive.
Yeah. This house will definitely not fall down in the night.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't talk to an architect. Though.
Definitely no Bathshebas in here.
Yeah. Bathshebas from The Conjuring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still available.
Now, I know people were tired of experts these days, Chris.
Yeah.
But this is set 50 years ago. People are still really up on experts.
Yeah. Yeah. But then she follows his advice.
Thinking he's the expert.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you would...
You just said they're really up on experts, and your point is don't follow expert advice.
No, my point is follow as much expert advice as possible.
Right. So get it from as many sources as possible. Yeah.
Because so she reads about one thing.
Like we said, though, she's quite naive. She doesn't seem to know a lot about much. And surely if someone said, you've just broken your leg, you shouldn't, stamp on the floor.
No, but equally, there's visual evidence of that.
Yeah.
The difficulty with a pregnancy is that she's like, oh, I think I've read a book and I might have an ectopic pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically goes, ectopic pregnancy? Get out of my office.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, right, sorry, I'm an idiot. But
Yeah.
if she'd gone to Sam Hill, whatever his name was, no, don't Sam Hill, I work with him. If she'd gone to Dr. C.C. Hill and asked him about this ectopic pregnancy, he'd have gone, listen, Rosemary, here's what we'll do.
You have a lie down here.
We'll give you a scan.
Yeah.
That'll solve this.
Do they have
And-
scans back then?
I'll do a test.
That's why this film could be made now.
Yeah.
Because there'd be a scene where they do a scan and there's like horns on the
Yeah.
child or something, or claws.
Exactly.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Just be
You
a
have
bit
to-
critical, right? When someone
bit of
says,
critical thinking.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah. So
you've heard all you need to know, go, well, actually, have I?
So your issue is with her putting all of her eggs in one basket,
Yeah.
all of her faith eggs into one expert basket.
Exactly, yeah.
I think that's fair enough. I mean, it's reading around the subject that eventually cottons her onto what's going on.
Yeah.
So in some respects, she does do it, but I guess you're just suggesting that she does it earlier.
There's a good parallel I've heard about, which is Tony Blair and Gordon Brown. Now, before, each morning, they would wake up and...
In bed together.
Well, Blair, when he was Prime Minister, would be given one sheet of A4, which had bullet points for everything he needed to know for that day.
Mm-hmm.
And if he had to make a decision, he'd be given 4 bullet points for that decision. And he'd say, with that information, I think we should do this, right? I mean, he did end up committing war crimes, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Now, Brown, on the other hand, would take hours, and he'd read whole papers and read a lot, and it would be very slow in making a decision, right? Now, I don't think Rosemary's doing either of those things. I think she's taken a Donald Trump approach, which is to go, whatever this one person told me once is going to be the truth.
Every morning, Minnie hands her a folder of positive feedback about her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Far be it from us to invoke the spirit of Blair in our podcast.
The Blair Witch.
Yeah. My final suggestion is it's actually related to the doctors as well. Let's say you become suspicious that everyone you know is part of a dangerous cult involved in Satanism, including your doctor Dr. Saperstein, and let's say you sit in a phone booth, going, "Oh my god, they're all in on it.
Yeah.
They're all part of the same cult. They're all in on it. It's all connected. They all know each other. It's all a conspiracy." If you went to your other doctor immediately after that and said, "Oh, my other doctor, Dr. Saperstein," and he goes, "Oh yeah, I know Dr. Saperstein," that is a red flag.
Yeah.
If you just a scene before, minutes before, gone, they all know each other. It's all connected. It's all a big conspiracy.
You're right. Yeah.
And then you go to the next person and say, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I know your doctor. Yeah, I'm good friends with him."
Good man.
Yeah. That is a sign that you should run a mile.
Yeah, but I don't think he's in on it, is he? Old Hill.
I don't think he's in on it. No, but like it's as simple for him. It's as simple as just opening his Rolodex and going, "Dr. Saperstein,"
Right.
phoning him up.
Yeah, but I get your point. But then I guess even if it had been a complete stranger, the conversation would have gone, "Who's your doctor?" Dr. Saperstein. I think he's a witch.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, have a lie down. And then he'd gone, "Operator, get me Dr. Saperstein."
Operator, get me the mental health unit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, her other mistake is going to her previous doctor because it's like
Insult to injury.
Well, no, I just meant it's like the first place that anyone would look if they were looking for her.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, it's a moot point because she doesn't die.
Yeah, but we're talking about how she could have survived better, and she gave the game away by running and telling. Basically.
Do you think if she'd given birth to the baby in hospital, do you think they'd have just given it back and been like, "This is your baby"?
It's just fucked up.
Yeah, it's just really hideous.
Yeah, I guess they would have done, wouldn't they? Like they would have flagged it. You know, how deep do the roots of the cult go?
Well, they don't even seem to get as far as the doctor's secretary, and you'd think he'd have a secretary who was at least like-minded.
Yeah,
she's like, "This guy stinks."
Yeah. Exactly. Tannis root. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, just one more idea. And that is if you're trying to hide your identity, don't use an anagram of your name. Why bother doing that?
Why do that? Yeah.
Just like make your name like Tibernian Bivouacker. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Like I know what I'll do. It's the same with Voldemort, right?
Yeah.
Like they're the same thing. He's used Tom Riddle. Why the fuck didn't he just go? Or I know I'll just make up a new name so no one knows who I am. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do completely. Yeah.
Hiding.
I've never understood the trope of anagram names to reveal a big mystery.
Yeah.
Because as you say, it doesn't make any sense.
You must want to be caught.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's no. You're like, although a lot of I think a lot of murderers and killers and criminals and things do sort of like the idea of flaunting that they're getting away with it.
Right, yeah.
So like returning to the scene of the crime or whatever. Maybe it's a bit like that in the sense that they get off on the fact that it's like
they're leaving a puzzle that needs to be solved.
Like they're hiding in plain sight, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is though, I don't think Roman Castanets does want to be caught.
Right.
Because if he gets caught, he can't do what he needs to do.
Yeah.
I guess after he's done it, maybe like.
But I'm not so much saying that he wants to get caught as he's enjoying the fact that he hasn't been caught, despite the fact that he's hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
but you take my point that why fucking bother?
Yeah, so he could have survived better if he just called himself Tom Riddle.
Yeah, that would have been perfect.
Yeah,
yeah. Written 35 years before Harry Potter.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, there you go.
Or alternatively, if you're Hutch and you've worked out that there's an anagram. Don't say the name is an anagram. Say Roman's name is an anagram.
Yeah. Call the police.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to make it.
I'm worried about my friend who might be, in danger of having a baby taken from her.
Yeah. Or not even that. Just say Roman is Steve Stivetts or whatever.
Well, that's probably what he was going to do, wasn't he? And then he got put in a coma.
Yeah, but when he woke up out of the coma to say. The name is an anagram?
No. He'd written that down beforehand. He never woke up from the coma.
Okay.
So he didn't realise he was about to go into a coma.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's the same way that the previous tenant of the flat went.
Yeah, exactly. Food for thought here on How to Survive. That was episode 106. all about Rosemary's Baby. Next week, of course, it is the oft-mentioned Wicker Man.
But before that, Chris,
Yeah.
someone's got a birthday this week, haven't they?
Yeah.
Your birthday's this week. here's a present from me and the fans
Yeah.
to thank you for all your
Thank you.
hard work.
So it's very well wrapped
Yeah.
in this co-op bag for life.
Yeah,
Gin making kit.
yeah,
Lovely. I'm a big fan of gin.
yeah, as you know from the Under the Shadow episode.
Yes. Yeah. And from my love of Lost.
Yeah. Niche. What's more niche? Lost or...
And definitely Under the Shadow.
Yeah.
In just Sandy Leaf Farm, make your own gin. In just a couple of days, you will have made a big bottle of your own home-infused botanical gin. We spend months obsessively tasting the spice blend and recipe to make the whole experience just as easy and tasty as possible. The kit includes everything you need to get started. Just add 750 millilitres of inexpensive vodka.
Yeah.
Vodka is made out of gin. Gin's made out of vodka either.
I think it's made out of alcohol. They're just
Right.
saying vodka will do, basically.
Right.
What I like best about it is when it lists like what comes in that kit.
Clear and simply written instructions, juniper berries, spices, filter papers, craft paper, bottle tags, pipette, and a lifetime of email support.
So
from
you-
Sandy Leaf Farm. Email support in the box.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
Yeah.
And it's a card here as well, Joe.
Yeah.
Very good. He's gone for the classic getting a feminine card.
Yeah.
Counter programming. To Chris, to a special princess, love Joe.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
That's
Thank
from
you
all,
very
all of
much.
us here at House of Our Towns, Chris.
Thanks very much.
Keeping the show running.
Cheers.
Next week, as you mentioned, The Wicker Man.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be talking about that.
Yeah.
It's available on Amazon to buy
Yeah. Or rent.
or rent. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird to say rent, isn't it, when you don't really get to keep it.
Stream it for a price.
Yeah.
For a limited time.
Yeah.
And if you've seen Wicker Man, then you can get in touch
Mm.
through all the usual mediums. Email, howtosurviveshow@gmail.com. You can also tweet at HowToSurvivePod, and you can like us on Facebook, facebook.com/HowToSurvivePod.
Yeah. And we've had an email in actually, Chris, from Ella. So she says, "Hello, chaps.
Hello.
I just wanted to write and express my love for How to Survive and you two guys. I'm a long-time listener since Everest. And although I listen to about 24 podcasts on and off, yours is my absolute favourite.
It's very kind.
I wrote an iTunes review today. Good, by the way.
Yeah.
You should do that too, listener.
Yeah.
With similarly glowing comments, so I'll stop now before it gets creepy. And feel free to keep going.
Yeah.
Thanks for introducing me to a lot of films. I'm too much of a wimp to ever be much of a horror fan, but your reviews have pushed the boundaries of the genre way beyond gory cliches. I enjoyed Worst Fears Season 2. Great concept. My worst fear is a global pandemic, although caving or nuclear holocaust don't hold much appeal either.
Mm.
Maybe you could cover Contagion or Outbreak at some point.
Yeah. I was about to suggest Contagion, actually. If
Yeah.
have you ever seen that?
I have seen it, yeah.
It's quite a bleak
Yeah.
film.
Yeah. Dennis Hoffman. Dustin Hoffman is in Outbreak, isn't he?
Yes, I
Yeah.
think so, yeah.
I didn't get it. Because it's about a pandemic, see? That's the joke there. Thanks a million, Ella. And we had another email
Yeah.
from Tim. Just a quick one here. Hey guys, really enjoyed your Jurassic Park episode. Anyway, what is Jeff Goldblum's favourite song?
I don't know. What is Jeff Goldblum's favourite song?
I Believe I Can Fly.
Mm.
You're welcome, says Tim.
Yeah.
You're a hard man to please.
No,
today
I
with
get
these
it. I do get
dregs.
it. I do get it. Yeah. Okay.
I thought my Outbreak one was okay. And I thought old Tim's done a good job there with a pun. But what you've done there is you've no-sold both of us.
Yeah. Well,
What happened to you?
we know what I say about that.
Yeah.
I say God is dead!
God is dead! Say